The national champion is clad in big orange.
The pitch. Swing and a miss. That's the ball game. The national champion is clad in big orange.
At Summit and Destiny have met 7 times before. Tonight is number 8.
SEC Volunteers have wrapped up an SEC outright regular season title. Connect with
the SEC runs through Rocky Top. Tennessee wins the SEC regular season crown for the 2nd consecutive season.
the 1-0. Indiana, right center field. Ross on the move. Rock it there. Tennessee walks it off. It's a mismatch. Deep three. Come on now. And don't connect. Probably Draghi this time. Indeed. New hand jam. Down the middle. Got it. The fly is high and again. And he's going to take it. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Hey, how much fun is this?
Man, Rocky Top, this is college football at its absolute best.
Is college athletics at its absolute best, and who am I to take over when we got the absolute star of the show live with us tonight? I'm your boy Skylar, my co-hosts, plural, as Michael, and man, I'll let you introduce the star, man. Who we got?
Yes, so appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. Right now, I've got my son Anderson with us. Let's just say he was not ready to go to bed yet. So try to give him a little bit of time on the podcast tonight, see how much he'll talk, because he's been doing a lot of that lately, babbling away. I'm thinking about starting his own podcast just to see how that does. But he's going to join in with us tonight. Man, we had a great time this past week at the Orange and White game. His very first Tennessee event. Just fantastic day overall. And then we had a great time up there as well. But Skylar, I know you had something else going on this weekend as well. Weren't able to make it to the Orange and White game. How did that go, man?
I was not able to, but yeah, my great-grandmother turned 90 on Friday. So the whole family came out, celebrated her 90th on that Saturday, right? Master Saturday, you had Orange and White game Saturday, but absolutely nothing was stopping me from going to celebrate my granny turning 90. That was her lifelong goal, believe it or not. But I told her, I said, that doesn't mean you get to give up. Like, no, like now we raising the bar. Okay. Like it's 95, it's 100. Like you don't get to stop now. But in all seriousness, praise the Lord, she is actually in really good health. She just kind of wheels herself around in her wheelchair with her feet. It's kind of funny. I probably shouldn't laugh at it, but it is kind of funny to just watch her like wheel around the house and stuff like that. But for the most part, man, she's doing a really good job, and it was so cool to see the extended family come out and support her. Family I didn't even think I realized that I had, to be honest with you. So it was kind of cool just catching up, and it was almost like a family reunion for her. But I appreciate you. Before we get going into too much, I do want to let the folks know about our presenting show sponsor, P&L Business Services. We know firsthand that getting your monthly reporting, invoicing, bill pay, taxes, and other essential business services right is critical. That's why at P&L Business Services, we go beyond bookkeeping by providing you with everything you need in your back office so you can have your time back and the peace of mind to do what you love most, which is building your business. Behind every successful business is a great bookkeeper. Guys, again, if you need help on the back end things, the paperwork side of things, the taxes side of things, and you just want to continue to focus on that great customer experience that you have, that customer service, then just go online to P&L Business Services. Let the fine folks out of Oak Ridge take care of your books today. We appreciate your continued support. Michael, man, give us the rundown. You kind of hinted at it at the beginning of the show, but what are we talking about tonight? I'm sure the Orange and White game is going to be the headliner.
Yeah, so we are going to talk about the Orange and White game. We're going to give some overreactions from the Orange and White game. Kind of some what we learned from it. Spoiler alert, nothing. We learned nothing from the Orange and White game.
Learned something.
But we're gonna get some overreactions from what we saw from the Orange and White game. Then we're gonna talk a little bit about the transfer portal in men's and women's basketball. There's been some big things happening on the transfer portal
right.
for both teams.
You mean to tell me that we have players on the women's team right now?
We have at least 5 players. We've got a team
No
on the court.
shot,
So,
dude.
yeah. So we're making progress there. And then we're also going to talk about some spring cleaning that happened this weekend in the baseball and softball side of things. Is 2 sweeps this past weekend. And shout out to Skylar for calling that baseball one. So
Got a little lucky there.
I had lack of faith on there, but it happened, and hopefully Tennessee baseball has turned the corner.
Real quick on that point, what does it say for a reeling Mississippi State Bulldog team to lose 2 straight series, sweet fashion, by the way, and then they still be ranked in the top 20, and Tennessee still didn't even get in the D1. Now, obviously, rankings don't mean really anything right now, at least. But what does that say about Tennessee getting the sweep over a top 10 team and not even cracking the top 25?
Honestly, it doesn't really say much of anything.
I mean, we have one team that's 0-6 the last 2 weekends, and another team that is at least, we're 4-6?
Yeah.
Or not even, no, we're 4-2, technically. So, I mean, it's whatever. I'm not even butthurt about it. It's fine. It was a beautiful series. What a game. We'll talk about it. But, man, Friday night was such a catapulting moment, I think, for this program.
Yeah, that's right. But let's get right into it as I'll give you our segment 1 sponsor, which is Optimal Asbestos Services. Optimal Asbestos Services offers detailed asbestos inspections and air quality assessments. Whether you're looking to secure your home or workplace, you can trust Optimal Asbestos Services to deliver thorough and reliable solutions. Contact Jeff Moll at 865-223-3297 for your consultation today, or go on the web at optimalasbestosservices.com. So, orange and white game, Skylar. It was not televised this year. So, if you wanted to pay attention to the game, you either had to be there in person or listen to it on the Vol Network. I know Mike and the crew were up there broadcasting it. Mike and Roman were. It was a great turnout to be there in person. They did have the south part of the stadium blocked off, still doing construction over there, but it was still about 2/3 of the stadium were open. And let me just tell you, I was sitting in section, was it Z11? I think is where I was, underneath the overhang, and I couldn't see the upper bowl from where I was sitting. But man, that lower bowl, that 2/3 that was open, was pretty dang full.
Oh yeah,
So it was a lot of people there in support. A lot of people wanting to know,
who's winning,
what the quarterback's gonna look like.
Yeah,
what's all this gonna look like? And let me just give you the first overreaction. If you're basing it off the spring game, Ryan Staub is gonna be your starting quarterback this season.
Is that not the every single spring game take though? The third string always seems to have the best game.
Yep.
And do people not realize that maybe it's because he's the one playing the third string defense?
But he's also got the third string offense with him. But
That's fair.
Yeah.
But no, so I'm gonna have to piggyback off of you on this one because I would have genuinely thought that I could have just went back on ESPN app and rewatched the game. But like you said, it wasn't televised, so I kind of got screwed having to catch some highlights here and there. But I kind of want to pivot from the quarterback discussion because I genuinely think you weren't gonna know. I don't think the coaches are gonna put those kids in the position to even give you an ounce of a hint of who's winning that position right out of the spring game. So I want to pivot to what I thought was, at least in the highlights, seemed to be a really a great positive is the back seven for the defense. I feel like this secondary with the linebacker group. I mean, I knew the linebackers were going to be good. I felt like I did have some question marks. Obviously, Ty Redmond coming back's huge, but like, I feel like the back seven. We talk so much about the front seven on the defense, but the back seven looks pretty darn good under Jim Knowles' defense.
Yeah, they look pretty good. They definitely did not make it easy on the quarterbacks. They did not give many open looks. And matter of fact, the only 2 times that I really saw a bust in the defense was one of them, the 75-yard touchdown from Ryan Staub to Carson Whitehead on that third team. I didn't see what happened, if it was just a great move by Whitehead or if it was a defender falling down. But all of a sudden, you look up and you see Carson Whitehead running all by himself down the sideline, catching the ball and taking it in for that 75-yard touchdown. And then later in the game, once again, Whitehead got free down the sideline. Unfortunately, couldn't make the grab that time. But really, that was the only 2 times I can think of where it was just a wide open man downfield. Everything else was contested. It was not easy for the quarterbacks at all. So, yes, 100% that back 7 there really looked good. But just defense overall looked really good. You could definitely tell they were far and away the better side of the ball, as it should be at this point. Defense normally at this time is always ahead of the offense, and you could definitely tell that in the orange and white game this past weekend.
Right on. Having some connection issues, so I'm sorry if you get backed out. We know why. But you mentioned defense definitely ahead of the offense, which is a very normal thing in the spring. I'm going to ask a question that I know the answer of, but did we spot Chaz Coleman?
I did not see Chaz Coleman there.
Chaz was probably not there. So,
yeah. So we all know kind of what came out this past week about having some issues
off the field.
Off the field. It has nothing to do with anything that's on the field. Just kind of missing home. He hasn't been that far away. Looks like they're trying to get something figured out to try to help remedy that. But yes, Chaz Coleman right now not a participant for Tennessee football, but they're really hoping to change that.
I got some thoughts on that, man.
All right, let's hear it.
I am a big family man. Like I have a hard time. I had a hard time. I mean, I moved out to Texas and then to Oklahoma, and like that wasn't easy for me to leave behind everything I knew, right? But at the same time, this is a very important time for Chaz and his team to develop, to build some chemistry. And on top of that, the man's getting paid big bucks to be here. And, like, we got to find a way to be strong enough to be here a month, to buy in a month. I mean, you got the summer to go back see family and stuff like that, like, but to buy in a month, to be here, lock in with your teammates, develop, create a family here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that that's going to replace your family. Obviously, like, that's what I understand that. But, like, a part of me is just like, man, you're an adult. Like, this isn't your freshman year of college. You've been other places, albeit, closer to home. But it does bother me if it is a homesick issue. It bothers me that we couldn't tough it out for a few weeks there in spring to really develop it and grow some relationships with your new teammates here in this. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, definitely this is something that, you feel like with all this going on behind the scenes, you should be able to tough it out, figure out a way to cope and all that. But, some people, it's harder for them to cope than other people is.
No, I understand that.
It seems like he's just having a little bit harder time coping with that right now. But
hey, let the man speak. He wants to speak. Let him look. Say what you got to say. Say it with your chest, though. That's all I ask.
The only thing I worry about is he just grabs it and pulls it out of the boom stand there. But no, that's definitely something that Tennessee fans, we hope that it kind of gets worked out. But I do have another overreaction from the orange and white game. The offensive line is going to get the quarterbacks into trouble this year.
Now, that's the exact opposite of what I heard or what I was hearing. So what gives you that? Do we have a weak spot or what's going on there?
So there were several times, but I credit that to the defense more than I do the offense struggling. There were several times that the quarterbacks, they would try to step up into the pocket, and all of a sudden defense is just right there in their face. And obviously it's touch too. There's no tackle on the quarterbacks. Right. But then there are several times where the quarterbacks would have to, be flushed out, roll outside, and try to get away. So from the looks of it, it looked like that the offensive line was struggling. But in reality, I think the defense is just that far ahead of the offense at this point.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I mean, look, offensive line shouldn't be that big of a question. I mean, you've got David Sanders coming back. You've got Wendell Moe coming back. You've got Sam Pendleton coming back. And you've got Jesse Perry coming back. And then I think you've got a really good battle going on the right side of the line, probably at right tackle or right guard, just depending on what's the better fit. But, like, you've got 4 guys that played a lot of snaps for you last year that I feel like are going to hold down that offensive line. So yeah, it kind of that is something to keep an eye on. But I truly thought the offensive line, to be honest with you, offense in general, other than the quarterback position, I feel really good about. So
Yes, I mean, from everything that I saw, now it was a lack of offensive production overall on Saturday in the orange and white game. I think the final score was like 13-10 or something like that. So wasn't a lot of offense to be found, but there's a lot to build on both sides of the ball. Really, the only question mark that I have is going to be the quarterback position. I mean, running backs look good. That transfer from Tulane, Gordon is his last name. Can't remember his first name. He ripped
you had
off
to know
a
he
big.
was going to be good. Yeah, I mean, from Tulane, Tulane pumps out some running backs.
Let's see, Javen Gordon looks like it's his name, but it ripped off that 61-yard touchdown run in the scrimmage as well.
Yeah.
I mean, looked fantastic. So I mean, the offense, I think is going to be fine. Once again, biggest question mark is going to be quarterback. Defense. Man, they look good. They looked really good.
That back seven is what I'm excited about.
Yeah, and then Cooper Ranvier, the transfer kicker from Louisville, he made all three of his, quote unquote pressure kicks that they had in the game, and it's
one was a 50-yarder, right?
One was a 50-yarder, and it's good to see that he played as well as he did, because nothing against Josh Turbeville, because he's fantastic at what he does, with the kickoffs, kicking into the end zone just about every time, but if we had to rely on him as our kicker, I would not be confident at all. He's got a big leg, but he lacks the accuracy.
No, I understand.
So really, really excited to see Cooper Ranvier as well. A lot of Tennessee fans were like, thank goodness we got somebody that can make a kick from 50 yards, that type of deal. It is still the spring game. I know they try their best to, make it like a pressure situation, but you cannot replicate anything that happens in a game. But it was really nice to see that he went 3 for 3 on those kicks.
No, that's awesome. Well, overall, I mean, it's a spring game. I do feel like it's good for the players to go through the game day environment, like the vol walk, the warm-ups that you do pregame, getting them to go through that process. But from a fan perspective, man, it's almost like an entertainment show for that 2 hours, right? Mm-hmm. They're not going to be doing anything, in my opinion, that's supposed to show you, the playbook or what the team's going to look like in the fall. Because I think what you've seen on Saturday is probably going to be dramatically different than what we're going to see come fall. But with that being said, was there anybody that stuck out to you that you think could be a game changer that maybe we don't know about?
I mean, the one person that really stood out to me is who I've already mentioned, Javen Gordon.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be a big name. That's probably going to be your.
You think he's really pushing for that RB2 position?
I think so. I think it's clearly going to be Deshaun Bishop, RB1, but then it's probably going to be a 2A, 2B kind of situation with Javen Gordon, and then, help me out here. Cannot think of the other guy's name right now. I'm blanking.
Don't do this to me. I actually have the. Never mind. We'll skip on it. It's bad for show, but
but no. I mean, it's going to be a 2A, 2B situation with those two running backs there this fall.
I had the roster something. Javen Gordon. That's the guy to keep an eye on, number 21 in the spring game. Now, obviously,
Dwan Morris.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dwan Morris is the other one. It's going to be a 2A, 2B situation. And I tell you what, I hope it doesn't come down to this, because that means that the running back room is in trouble as far as injuries go. But don't just shy away from Justin Baker either. He's the sophomore running back from Stone Mountain, Georgia, and he looks pretty good. Yes, he looks good working with the third string.
He's lightning fast.
Yeah, so don't count him out to get some sort of reps. But I do feel like if you are seeing him get significant time, that means that your running back room has gone significantly wrong because of injuries or something like that. But that's one guy that really stood out to me was Gordon, and then Radarius Jackson. He looks good as well. He did have a very, very easy ball that was dropped at one point in the scrimmage, but he looks good as well. He's fighting for that last wide receiver 1 position to go along with Mike Matthews and Braylon Staley. But I think that's a guy that can stand out this year as well.
Man, that's going to be a race to watch between Travis Smith Jr., Radarius Jackson, and I'm going to give it to him, but Tristan Keys.
Yes.
That's going to be a really good battle. I think all 3 are going to play, but as far as being the 3, it's going to be hard for them to kind of find, fit in that rotation. But man, our wide receiver group might be one of the best, most talented, and healthiest rooms that we've had in a while.
Yeah, and then defensive side of the ball, guy that I can say watch out for, Trey Poteet. He was all over the field on the defensive side of the ball on Saturday. So
now,
that's a guy to
what
really
position
watch out
is
for.
he star? What position is he playing?
It's just got him listed at defensive back. I believe he was playing a little bit of both corner and a little bit of star.
Yeah. Yeah, he sounds like a star, like a strong safety type player, where he can play as a cornerback, but also kind of come in and help tackle, be that third linebacker if necessary. So yeah, no, that's awesome, man. Trey Poteet all over the field. That's what I like to hear, and that's kind of a newer name now. He's been around. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah, he's a true sophomore. So
yeah,
he should be able to see quite a bit of time this year. But kind of going away from the game a little bit, I do want to give a big shout out to Alvin Kamara actually wearing his jersey. Got a Kamara jersey this weekend as well. But Alvin Kamara made a huge donation to Tennessee Athletics this past week, and he was recognized at the game as well. And he came back for the orange and white game. I actually got to see him. I didn't get a chance to come up and try to get a picture or anything like that, but we were sitting right outside gate 21 where the Evolve Village was, and he pulled up on a golf cart in front of us going into the stadium. So that was pretty cool. But they recognized him as they haven't decided what yet, but he's going to have some sort of naming rights somewhere in Neyland Stadium because of this generous donation that he made. And then several other VFLs came back for this weekend as Dylan Sampson was there. Recognized him at the game as well. Some players from last season's squad that got awards were there as well. You had Jalen McMurray was there. You did have Joey Aguilar was there. I know I'm going to miss a couple of names, but Andre Turrentine was there from last season's squad.
Taylor. Yep.
Yeah, Alante Taylor was there. I mean, all the ones that got awards from inside the program at Tennessee were there last season. You also had Jacoby Gillespie, Nate Ament, and Felix Okpara were all there from Tennessee's basketball team that they recognized. And then, of course, the most important one there, Smokey 12, made his very first appearance.
Come on now.
I was a little bit disappointed I didn't get to see him as well, right up in person and get a picture or anything, but he did. They did bring him out after the run out, let him run across the field, and boy, he was just super excited coming across the field. The handler was having a little bit of trouble keeping up with him as well.
Oh, yeah.
But it was awesome. Probably the biggest ovation that anybody out there got going into it.
Well, I mean, genuinely, it's been 2 full seasons since we've had a live mascot on the sidelines. So it is nice and refreshing to see Smokey back down on the sidelines for us. Love the mascot Smokey, don't get me wrong, but it's just something different about having that dog on the sideline and hearing that howl when the TV pans to him after a touchdown, anything like that. Like, man, it's just different. So no, it's awesome. And the fact that it's a rescue, bro. Like, that's such a cool story.
And honestly, with it being a rescue, it kind of surprised me how well he handled himself in front of all those people. I mean, I know it's going to be different come fall when it's 100,000 plus people, but looks like here it says that there was 48,000 fans, so that's almost half of what you will normally have at a Tennessee football game in the fall. And I mean, he handled himself pretty well, so that was a very good test to see how he's going to do come fall whenever it is going to be 100,000 plus people there.
Right on. In closing for the spring, as we wrap up the spring portion of football, they're going into summer. You can call it a little bit of a break, but it's time to body transform, right? Like it's body transformation season for these players. It's time to get right, get stronger, get faster, put on some weight, but good weight, type thing. Maybe cut a little bit, but it's time for these guys to hit the gym pretty hard and get better. Get ready for summer camp and into fall camp.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So before we'll go ahead to the next segment before we give our segment 2 sponsor, because this one should be a pretty short one. Transfer portal, men's and women's basketball. We'll talk men's side first. They've hit a couple of good guys coming into this next season. As yes, Day, what's his last name? I'm getting it pulled up now.
Is it? I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's AMES. So is it?
Day Ames, I believe.
That's what I wanted to say, but I didn't know how it's pronounced. But yeah, I didn't want to botch it. Day Ames.
He is
from Loyola.
He is joining from. No, he's the one that came from.
He's from Cal. Yeah, and then Miles Rubin is from Loyola, Chicago. So we've got a forward.
Yes, so that.
We've got a guard. We've got another guard.
So that joins Tyler Lundblade, who's already been with the team. And then I believe I heard today.
We're in the mix.
And I could be wrong on this. I was going back to somebody that was on the team last year. Has Clarence Masamba rescinded his portal?
I've not seen that. No. But I did see. So there's still 2 players also that haven't really declared what they're doing. Nate Ament and Ethan Berg. Ethan Berg did post on his Instagram, some photos of the season with an orange heart. I don't know if that's a farewell or if that's a teaser that he's coming back. But either way, we still don't know on Ethan Berg. But I haven't seen where Masamba's retracted his intent.
Well, I haven't seen anything confirmed, but I know the TriStar Network on Twitter earlier, they had posted back last week when he declared for the portal, and they reposted that with another with like a meme that said something like, had you in the first half or something like that. So makes me think maybe he's going to rescind it, come back to Tennessee, but nothing is confirmed yet. But Tennessee's still in the running for several good players that are in the portal right now. One of them is transfer from VCU. I know he's got a visit scheduled with Tennessee. They had
Hill Jr.
Yes. They also had a couple of other players that I believe visited this past weekend as well. So still a lot of time left to
We're also
to get
doing
guys to
an
come in.
in-home visit with is it Juke Harris, who averaged 21.5 points in his second season at Wake Forest.
Yes, that's one of the biggest names in the portal.
Yeah, number 3 player right now.
It's basically come down to, I believe, Michigan, North Carolina, Tennessee, and maybe Kansas. So 4 pretty big name teams there that Tennessee is in the mix for.
I'm not seeing who's in the running for him, but yeah, I mean on Sunday we were expected to conduct an in-home visit. The dude's 6'7" and 200 pounds, and he's a guard. That's nasty. That is good. But
yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot to come as far as players, coming to Tennessee. They might not be some of the names we necessarily expected right off the bat, but there's quite a few names left to come for Tennessee.
You got it. All right, and then Lady Vols, right? We have a team?
We do have a team. We did get a commitment today. By the way, huge pickup on the coaching staff getting the assistant coach from Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, it ended up being a pipeline from Georgia. We got 2 Georgia players.
We've got 2 Georgia players, and I believe one of the other players from another school that committed also had connections with this Georgia assistant coaches. Today, Riley Thurikoff, she was a freshman guard this past season, averaged 11.9 points per game, and shot 40.6% from 3 this past season. So that was a big pickup for Tennessee.
Riley is not a freshman. She is a junior. She will only have 1 year with us.
Okay, junior. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's the other one was a freshman this past season.
Zen Kraft, maybe?
Yes.
She has 3 years of eligibility. Yes. Yeah. So, yes, you're 100% right. No. Riley, she shot, I guess, a team high 71 three-pointers at Georgia. Shot it at a 40.5% clip. She averaged only 12 points a game, but she didn't really play, I don't feel like, a ton. She clearly wasn't a starter for Georgia, but, per her stats, I think I love that Kim Caldwell is going out to get people that can shoot. Are averaging maybe not the highest points, but the highest in shot percentage. I think that's going to be crucial with her system and the way it works. But yeah, she joins former teammates in Kraft. Kraft, 3 years of eligibility remaining. She only averaged 5.7 points a game, but she averaged 4 rebounds in just 15 minutes per game. I think she has serious potential.
And those two joined 3 other transfers for Tennessee, as the very first one that came in, Avery Mills from Liberty. And that was a big pickup, as Tennessee actually played against her, not this past season, but season before last, as she dropped, I believe it was 18 points against Tennessee in that game.
Oh, yeah.
She was like Conference USA Freshman of the Week that week because of her performance. She's a very good player as well. They also got the #1 scoring freshman in Division II from Northern Arizona, Naomi White.
Come on now.
And that girl is a baller. Joins the other ones as well. And then Harper Peterson, forward from Stanford, also joins the staff. So we actually have 6 players when you include the incoming freshman Gabby Minus. So we've got a team, Skylar. We can field a team on the court.
Pretty excited about Naomi White. She was averaging 21 points a game at Northern Arizona. She had this single season scoring record there with 667 points, and also the most 3-pointers made at 92, all in 1 year. She was a freshman of the year and earned first team all conference honors. Yeah. White is a baller, dude. I think we struck gold with that one. Peterson, not bad herself. We got 5 people. We've got 5 ladies. We have a team. We no longer have to forfeit, Michael. I tell you what, though, in all seriousness, I think it's going to get harder for Kim to bring in players. I think the more she adds, the harder it's going to get to fill the spots. I don't even know how the budget and stuff like that goes, but I'm very interested to see, getting the first 5 is one thing, but how are we going to fill up the next 7? How do we get 12 players on this roster, scholarship players?
And you know what? I'll take 10 at this point, because that gives you 2 teams that you can scrimmage each other in practice. And really, if Kim Caldwell is truly going to go back to kind of what she did in her first season at Tennessee and do like the hockey substitutions, 5 for 5, that type of deal, that's what you need right there. You just need 10 players. Now, obviously, you'd like to have a little bit more just in case, because of injuries, other things do happen. But I'm actually going to say that I do think it might get a little bit more difficult. But if Kim Caldwell is pitching to some of these girls that, hey, we're going to do this hockey style, you're going to get playing time, how much is going to depend on how well you play, because that is part of how Kim Caldwell coaches. If you play well, then you're going to get more playing time.
Yeah, if you're hot, you're shooting the ball and you're making shots, you're not getting pulled, period.
Yeah, and then, next game, if you played well in your previous game and you perform well in practice, you're going to get more playing time in that next game upcoming. The better you play, the more playing time you're going to get. So if that's what she's pitching, and she's talking about this, hockey style type of substitutions again, full pressure on defense, going up and down the court on offense, I think you're going to find several people that want to play for that type of coach, because they see playing time with a chance to, parlay that into something bigger. So we'll see what comes of it, but really with not having anybody coming back on the roster, all the funds are wide open for, basically whoever they want.
Right on. Anything in closing as we wrap up our recruiting talk for basketball?
No,
shout out. I will say this. Sorry to cut you off because I kind of answered my own question, but Janai Barker, first round WNBA draft. Shout out. Obviously, things for the season didn't end the way we wanted it to, but that doesn't take away from her and what she's done. And I appreciate her coming here this year. I mean, you got to think she transferred to UCLA, a program that just went to the championship game, won it.
Not to mention, I think I think all of UCLA's top 6 players were all drafted in the first round too. It's like the first time that's ever happened.
So I just appreciate her coming here, giving her all for Tennessee. I'm not gonna say finishing strong because I think she has some nagging injuries there at the end of the year, sickness, stuff like that. But overall, I just appreciate what she's done and kudos to her for getting drafted in the first round. That's awesome.
Yeah, and a shout out to Z Spearman as well. She was drafted in the 3rd round too. So Z Spearman, even though she left a little bit that we would have liked at Tennessee, would have liked seeing a little bit more, she still performed well enough, and there were some teams that liked her enough that she ended up getting drafted in the 3rd round. So shout out to her as well, and good luck on her WNBA career.
That's right. All right, let's flip the page and let's talk a little bit of baseball and softball.
Yeah, let's do that. But before we do that, I'll give you our segment 2 sponsor, which is Kaizen Painting. Do you want a colorful life? Kaizen is a painting and drywall company that provides residential, commercial, exterior, and interior services. At Kaizen Painting, we understand the importance of a beautifully painted home and properly installed and repaired drywall. We're here to bring your vision to life. We care about providing you with a personalized, efficient, and quality service. If you live in Knoxville and surroundings, contact us for a free estimate at KaizenPainting.com. Color your life the Kaizen way. So let's start off with some Tennessee baseball. As Friday night, they went into the Dude, what they call it down there at Mississippi State, and came out with a 6-5 victory.
Yeah, they did.
And what are your opening thoughts, Skylar? As while you're talking, I'm actually going to grab little man. He's wanting back in here.
You're totally good. You're totally good. Rhonda says, don't worry. I was just catching up the end of that UNC Asheville game, but she's here now. I totally understand. We knew exactly where you were at, Rhonda. No worries there. Yeah, my initial thoughts, I actually didn't get to catch this game in particular because it was on a Friday night, but I'll tell you what, I caught some of the highlights, and guys, this is what it's supposed to look like when the top of the lineup delivers, but also when you're pitching, and more importantly, Cam Appenzeller, man. Like, my goodness, the moxie as a freshman that kid has, and the way he delivered the ball, and clutch moments. Even when runners are on base, even when he got hit, like he kept his cool, stayed committed to his pitches, trusted his process, and came out with a win. And I tell you what, man, probably, like I said this earlier in the show, I felt like this was a catapult moment for our program. We needed something to go our way. I felt like this was that moment. I mean, to come out with a close victory on the road and one of the hardest places, the most attended place to play it, right? You know, they average like 15,000 fans a game. Mm-hmm. But to go in that environment, in that raucous, Friday night, get that win, I almost texted you that night. It was like, dude, this is really good for us. I felt like the sweep was definitely coming at that point. But for our team to follow it up the way they did, man, was phenomenal. But to keep this about this game, top of the lineup delivered, Cam Appenzeller, not to overshadow the start by help me out,
Landon
Mack. Thank you, Landon Mack. Not to overshadow that start because he pitched phenomenal as well. But overall, I think it's just a surprise factor for Cam Appenzeller and where he's came from and how well he's been playing for us. But overall, that's my initial thoughts. Michael, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, just a fantastic game overall. And, yeah, Rhonda, hopefully he is a future Vol. I know you just joined in, but he got to go to his first orange and white game this weekend. We had a fantastic time.
Yeah, Michael's trying to retire, bro. He's trying to get some of that NIL money. That's what I'm saying.
That's exactly right. Got to get some of that and then just do this full time. But,
no, I hear you.
but no, I mean, this game, it was fantastic. Landon Mack started off the game really well. And then, as you mentioned, top of the lineup really delivered. You had Henry Ford with a big home run in the contest. Garrett Wright in the game, 3 for 4.
Huge.
Huge at bats from him as well. And then Levi Clark, he was only 1 for 4, but man, big 2 RBIs in the game as well.
Oh yeah.
So it was just an overall team effort in this one. And then cannot overstate what Cam Appenzeller has done for this team since he came onto the roster. Pitched another 5 innings in this one, only gave up 2 runs, 3 hits, and had 8 strikeouts. And then, the big wave to the crowd after his final strikeout to end it. Just the moxie there. It's incredible. I mean, really excited to see what this kid is going to do for the future, and just a big opening night win for SEC series.
Absolutely. I mean, I got a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie, man. That 8th inning, but we were down going into that 8th inning, and so but to get 3 runs there when you needed it most, huge work there, and then to get it done. Obviously you gave up another run that bottom of the 8th, and then gave up another run in the bottom of the 9th, but to just get it done, to close it out, man, it was a huge game. I didn't realize, just looking at, but Garrett Wright, I think is such a surprise. He is your catcher, right? But he's also your leadoff batter. I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't think I've ever seen a catcher be a leadoff batter. Have you seen that? I don't think I've ever seen that.
If I have, it hasn't been recently. Most of the time, a Tennessee catcher is going to be like a Cal Stark in the bottom of the lineup, or
a 5th or 6th or 7th guy.
Like that. Yeah.
Put on them shades, bro. Put them on. Yeah, we got ball game to play. That's what I'm talking about. No, 10 football 247, man. We appreciate you being here. Really do. Thank you so much for joining. He said good win tonight, and I'm sure him and Rhonda both were watching the game. I was watching a little bit of it, but I was too distracted, so I had to lock back in. But no, man, game 1 goes to the good guys. Cam Appenzeller gets credited with the win, as he should. But Landon Mack, man, not a bad outing himself. As he pitched, he pitched 4 innings. He did give up 6 hits, 3 runs, but he still struck out 6 people. He just made a couple of mistakes. But Cam Appenzeller came in there and really shut the door for the most part. Got the job done, man. What a turning point I think this is going to be for the season.
Does it not seem to happen most of the time around this time of year where a Tennessee team, if they struggle early, they get to this point in the season, they came in, 5-10 in the SEC, which was just like it was, or 4-8 in the SEC. Almost just like it was a couple years ago whenever they went into the Vanderbilt series 5-10. They got a series sweep, and then all of a sudden the season trajectory goes completely different.
You went to Omaha.
I hope this parlays into something like that. But, I mean, let's go into game 2 now, where Tennessee just started fast.
I watched this one.
And they kept Mississippi State at bay. Mississippi State tried to make a little bit of a run there towards the end after Tennessee went up 4-0 in the first 2 innings off of a Reese Chapman home run in the first inning. And then in the second inning, I actually called one of Tennessee's runs there. It was that 1st and 3rd situation. Jay Abernathy came up to the plate, and I said a squeeze bunt would be perfect right here. And he laid one down. A little bit of a harder bunt than I would have wanted, but still got the run in.
It definitely made the play close.
It did. Got the hand in at the plate before the tag got there.
What by the way, underrated slide by Manny Marin.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
That was a very, very good slide there that didn't really get talked about enough. But the Cowbells got silenced. I love it.
They sure did. But
I'd say Garrett. Sorry to cut you off. I think this game is where it really started for me. But the 2-out approach with runners on base was phenomenal. Conversely, Mississippi State and our pitching, when they had 2 outs and people on base, or even not on base, I think Mississippi State might have been hitless on 2-out approaches. They showed the graphic up in game 2 at one point. But with runners in scoring possession, I can't remember what the stat was, but it was Tennessee was dang near batting 500 with runners on and 2 outs. And Mississippi State couldn't get a hit with 2 outs. It was amazing. The approach, the offense paired with the defense, it was phenomenal. And Manny Marin, I slept on his defensive gameplay. I thought Antigua was just that much better than him. But I'm telling you what, man, that kid's making some plays. He tried to do too much in one of the instances. I don't think it was this game, but either way, man, that kid's a baller, and it's proving it to me day in and day out.
Yeah, man. I mean, 3 for 4 at a ball game on this one with a double. Scored 2 runs. Garrett Wright stay hot, 2 for 4 from the plate. Man, Grinlinger
Started 3
is
for 3, dude. He started 3 for
Yeah.
3.
he had to step in whenever Stone Lawless got hurt, which, by the way, he's probably out for a couple more weeks with that facial fracture that he's got going on. But he stepped in whenever Stone Lawless went down, and I mean, he's just in there doing his thing. 3 for 4 in this game. Already mentioned Manny Marion, Levi Clark, 1 for 4, and then Jay Abernathy. Have yourself a day, man. 3 for 3. Including that squeeze bunt that he had. He had 2 doubles in the contest as well.
That from Jay, man. You
Yes,
got to
because
have your fastest player on the team get on base, man. Like, period.
Yeah, and his defense, he's one of the best defenders that we got too because of that speed.
Yeah.
So you got to have that, and then you combine that with a fantastic start from Tegan Coons as well, going 6 innings, giving up those 2 runs. Got into that little bit of trouble there in the 7th inning whenever we turned it over to Brandon Arvidsson.
But it was clutch that he was able to pitch into the 7th because we weren't going to bring in Brandon Arvidsson, I don't think. They showed the bullpen in like the 5th inning of 2 players warming up. Brandon Arvidsson wasn't one of them. But when he was able to carry it into the 7th inning, Brandon Arvidsson was able to come in and shut it down. I love the way our pitching was the first 2. When you only have to burn through 4 guys in 2 games, that is the utmost clutch pitching staff you can have, because then you go into game 3 with pretty much, obviously those 4 guys are down, but you've got 5 other arms that are completely fresh, ready to go. Turns out we needed it in game 3.
Yeah, we sure did, because going over to game 3 once again got off to a hot start in the game as you scored 2 runs in the first. And, that was kind of all she wrote there for a little while. Mississippi State scored 1 in the 4th. You put up 2 more in the 6th. Mississippi State put up 1 in the 7th, make it 4-2. And then Tennessee with 3 runs there in the 9th inning to really blow the game open.
Huge.
Yeah, but, you mentioned it as far as the pitching staff goes. You did need it. Evan Blanco gave you a fantastic outing on the mound, going 6 2/3, only giving up 5 hits, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts, just really just getting guys out. And then you turned it over to Brady Frederick, got you out of the 7th inning, brought him back out to start the 8th, immediately gave up a hit, I believe it was, or maybe it was a hit batter is what it was.
I was going to say, I think he hit a batter, and then we made a pitching change. Who's number 6?
Number 6 is Brady Frederick.
Okay, so it wasn't him. It was somebody
48,
else.
Number 48, so you brought in next, which is Chandler Day. You brought him in.
He walked somebody immediately.
Yeah, he walked somebody. He did get somebody out, but then turned it over to Bo Rudy, and Bo Rudy just does what he does.
We needed a little bit more consistently. I'll give him that.
Yes.
But in a game when you had 2 other relievers not really be able to do their job that well, it was nice to have him come in and shut the door, because it was before the 9th inning when we scored 3 runs, but it was definitely shaping up to be a, oh my God, we're about to give this one away, type of moment. So no, it was nice that he came in, did a job, and got the job done. I tell you what, man, I think the difference in this game is top lineup stayed pretty hot, bottom of the lineup was fantastic. You had Brown, Marin, Levi Clark all doing jobs, getting it done. But almost everybody in the lineup had a hit that I think played, other than Jay Abernathy. He had a cold day at the plate, went 0 for 4. But other than that, Reese Chapman, Blaine Brown, both 2 for 4 days. Reese Chapman had 2, and I think he had 2 out doubles. The 2 out approach is just amazing from this team, man. And then you had, Henry Ford had a 1 for 4 day, but he had 2 RBI. Yeah, Levi Clark get a double, clutch double, 2 RBIs on that one. And then Blake Grimmer, Manny Marin both had a 1 RBI single, I think 1 RBI singles for both of those guys. Just clutch all the way around. I think you got on top of Mississippi State's guy pretty early. I think that was like you mentioned in the first inning.
Huge.
That was absolutely key. Because Mississippi State came into game 3 just trying to, they tried to get one. They absolutely did not want this to be a sweep. But I think the statement Tennessee made on Friday was just too much for Mississippi State to overcome. And credit and kudos to this Tennessee team for continuing to believe. I heard it over and over and over again in games 2 and 3 where the broadcast guys were just like, man, there's just a different kind of energy coming out of that Tennessee dugout than we're seeing out of Mississippi State's. Like for Tennessee to not be ranked, for them to have as bad of luck as they've had, there was just a cocky sort of confidence coming out of that dugout that you just didn't expect to see from this type of team. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Because the way we've been losing has been brutal, but I've told you this the entire time. One pitch away from our record in the SEC being dramatically different. In each of those ball games. So we just got to continue to stick to the process. We're learning how to deal with this adversity. We're turning it into a positive, and this team, lo and behold, is almost back to 500 in SEC play. So
I mean, the biggest key to me is that, how many times this year have we been up on a team in late innings and then we give that up?
Yeah. No,
we didn't let that happen this weekend. You were down to Mississippi State in game 1, and then you came back and took the lead there, and then you didn't allow them to score. Game 2, you went up early. You kind of struggled getting runs across late, but you didn't allow Mississippi State to get any runs across. And then in game 3 here, you got up early. Mississippi State responded a little bit. You put up 2 more runs. Mississippi State responded with 1 run. And then late in the ball game, you put it out of reach and didn't allow Mississippi State to try to put together something. So that's what I loved more than anything this weekend, was just seeing Tennessee put games away.
Yeah, Rhonda, I completely agree with you. 6 games we could have legitimately won. Absolutely. I mean, all 3 of Vanderbilt's series. That whole series could have been completely different.
I can think of 7 games. All 3
the LSU 2 games, maybe
2 games against LSU and 2 games against Georgia.
Yeah, because I'm not. Yes, we lost to LSU by like 10, but like that was just a.
You should have won it in the 9th inning.
Yeah, and we ran out of pitching, and it was bad all the way around. Look. I just looked up because the game finished, so I was like, you know what, screw it. We're done with this series. Mississippi State's old news, top 10 win. It ain't nothing. I mean, it's stuff that we're supposed to do, so I'm not going to brag too much on it. But, I called it. Like, it wasn't anything unexpected, I guess, Michael. Not to, subtle shout out myself, because I know you've already shouted me out a couple times. But I looked at the score. When I was watching it on the phone just for a little bit, it was like...
It was 4-1, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like kind of tight. And I was like, okay, yeah, uh-huh. And I look it up, and it's 11-1. I'm like, dang, son. That's why my reaction was earlier. But we popped off for a 5 spot in the 7th and another 2 spot in the 8th to beat them by run rule. And I'm confused. Did Blaine Brown start the game, but then I guess he just got 3 outs via, like, the defense? Because there's not a single hit recorded, run recorded, nothing.
Yeah, he got 3 ground outs on...
Good for Blaine Brown.
10 total pitches.
Yeah.
Then Tracy came in after that for 2 innings. Haas came in for an inning. Beato, I think is how you say his name. 6
RBI. Have a day. Had a home run as well. Your shortstop hitting homers?
Yeah,
get out of here.
2 for 4 with 6 RBIs, a double and a home run in the
contest. By the way, the dude, Tennessee, all right, not to say that Knoxville's dramatically shorter, but it is at the corners. Okay, we're being honest. Like, the corners at Tennessee are a lot shorter. They're like 330 maybe at the corners, 380 in the center. The dude is 380 like all the way around almost. There was like 5 or 6 different baseballs hit against Mississippi State out to like right center or left center that if it was at our place, they were 100% gone. So I love the way we're hitting the ball right now. Contact's great.
But I would continue to say that the field is not that much shorter.
It's not, but I'm saying corners. It gets
yeah, I mean, it's here. So I've actually...
You hit it 350 in left center at Neyland, or not at Neyland, Lindsey Nelson, it's gone. You hit it 350 at the dude, and you're 40 feet short. Like,
I've done now I haven't done the research at the dude, but I've compared Neyland or Lindsey Nelson and Hawkins Field and Vanderbilt. Down the lines, Tennessee is longer, but of course you got the right field fence that is only like 3 foot tall out there.
Right.
Dead center field, it's longer at Hawkins Field, but in right center, it's longer at Lindsey Nelson. Left center, it is longer at Hawkins Field.
Right on.
So, I mean, by the time you completely do the math on all of it, it's pretty much the same overall. But, we've mentioned it before. It's the way that the field plays at Lindsey Nelson, because of the direction that it faces, the way the wind blows there. It plays like it's a lot shorter because, the ball flies farther.
Yeah,
Plus,
because even if the wind's
it's
not
higher
blowing
in
out, it's blowing right to left, which kind of helps a right-handed hitter. So, I mean,
yes, and then it's higher in elevation than a lot of other schools in the SEC as well, which helps it, just all sorts of different things make it play like it's a quote-unquote little league field.
Rhonda says, what about the player that wasn't allowed to go to Mississippi State? What happened there?
All we know is it's an internal issue. That being
who was it?
Chris Newstrom, I believe is who it was.
Gavin's little brother, I think.
Yeah. So all we know is it's an internal issue. I don't know if we'll ever find out kind of what went on there. But
he's failing the class. I'm joking. I have no idea what it is, but I hope it's nothing serious. But look, kudos to coach. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, and clearly it was the right move because the guys didn't. It clearly didn't affect the guys. If it was something that they felt like was done wrong, you would have seen that in the way they play. But no, that's absolutely not the case. So I think you're right.
Tennessee this weekend, they will be hosting a 3-game series against Ole Miss and Lindsey Nelson, and you got to at least take 2. You got to win the series.
I think
You'd love another sweep. Well, I originally said last week I felt like this was a higher chance of a sweep than this past weekend. Obviously, I was wrong there because you got to sweep
because we got 100% chance now on.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. Ole Miss is a good program. I mean, they are. I don't think they're the greatest team this year. I think they are absolutely beatable, but they have a way of finding magic, second half of the season too. So, I don't know. We'll see. I do like our chances. We do get that at home, right? We are back home for this one. I love that.
Nelson.
I love that with everything. I just hope it's hard for pitchers to have back-to-back just superb outings. It really is. So I'm interested to see, with our Game 1 and Game 2 management, are we able to keep that rotation? There's going to be a lot of film on it. They're going to know where, they want to pitch and hit their spots. Are we able to change our, cadence and stuff like that to really throw Ole Miss off? I don't know. I'm intrigued to see how that matchup plays out on Friday.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So let's go over to the softball side of things where they had a Saturday, Sunday, Monday series against Kentucky.
Holy offense, dude. We've been waiting on it.
Heading up I-75, and, man, the offense combined with the defense. I mean, let's just talk about Saturday night first because you got a little bit of everything. You got the offense that you needed, especially late in the game. Combine that with Carlin Pickens' 4th career no-hitter. Just a fantastic game overall, and, man, you got it whenever you needed it, especially towards the end. As what a weekend that several Lady Vols had.
I loved bombs away.
This was, bombs away in Game 1. Gabby Leach get you a homer.
Yeah.
Ella Dodge get you a homer. Emma Clark homer. Elsa Morrison with a bomb, man. Just 4 of Tennessee's runs came from freshmen and from long ball. Let's see. I believe Savia Morgan had the only other run in the contest.
But Morrison going 2 for 3. She had a double and a home run.
Yeah. Elsa Morrison is really starting to see the ball a little bit better. She started off hot at the beginning of the season, went through a little bit of a slump. She's starting to really come around again now.
I was looking. Carlin Pickens was really a walk away from a perfect game.
She was.
That's crazy.
1 walk away from a perfect game. She had 12 strikeouts.
I got to give her credit, though. 1 walk's a lot better than what she's been doing because she had been walking a few batters. So, I mean, it's good.
She did have a hit batter as well.
Was that the one that she? Because I only have 1, or is that a different line item?
It's a different line.
So she had 2 base runners in the total game. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm showing 1 walk and then 1 hit batter.
She did all that in less than 100 pitches, 99 pitches total. That's awesome, man. Good for Carlin.
Fantastic.
She is the first player to have 4 a no in each season that she's played. 4 seasons total.
Yeah, she's now the third player in Tennessee history to record at least 4 no-hitters. First one being Monica Abbott.
Yep.
And the second one being, I believe it was Ella Renfro. It was one of the Renfro sisters.
Yeah.
But, just...
Well, it's crazy because I was like, no, this is her second no-no of the year. But no. It was Aaron Newer.
Yeah, Aaron Newer's got 2 of them.
They got the no-no, early on in the year. And, she had 2 of them. So she's kind of fallen off in SEC play. I'd love to see her get back on track. But this game, all about the offense, all about... And I'll say all about the offense, but our hits were home runs. I mean, we gotta do a little bit better about just getting on base, so that way that's not all solo shots. But overall, I'm not gonna complain when you have a 4 home run night for the team. I mean, that's awesome. And then in game 2 to be able to follow it up with another 4 home run night. Come on, talk to me, baby.
The difference in this one is you did get a little bit more, hits as well to go along with those homers.
I'm sorry, it might have been. It might have been the Monday night game where we had another 4 home runs because I'm not seeing 4 home runs in this one.
Yeah, you did not have a single home run in this one, actually. But,
I'm so sorry.
Man,
okay, yeah. So we had hits galore. I see a lot of doubles here.
Yeah, Gabby Leach, 1 for 4 on the night. Ella Dodge, 1 for 4 on the night. Alana Leach, 1 for 3 on the night. Elsa Morrison, 1 for 2 with another double. Taylon Holly, 2 for 4 with a double. Savia Morgan, 1 for 4. Bella Fall, 1 for 1 when she came in to pinch hit. I mean, you saw a bunch of hits, not very many walks in there either for batters. So, I mean, just getting on base and timely hitting whenever you needed it. I believe this is the one where I mentioned the 2-out hitting. A lot of their hits and runs came off of 2-out hits.
Elsa Morrison. The 2 RBI by Alana Leach. Elsa Morrison had a double. I think that was on 2 outs. Huge. But, man, I got to tell you what, Sage Marjetko, just another dime to go back-to-back, shut out Kentucky. She had 5 Ks herself in just 5 innings worth of work. She only gave up 3 hits. She did walk 1 batter, and she gave up, I think, 1 double. But overall, just a masterpiece. You had, obviously, Carlin Pickens came in to shut the door. But overall, just another great pitching performance, and you've seen it backed up. It's such a blessing. Because, Tennessee didn't get off to that hot start tonight, right? I mean, this was actually a very close game. I understand that the scoreboard says 6-0, but this was a 2-0 ball game going into the 7th.
Yeah, and then all 4 of Tennessee's runs came with 2 outs in the 7th inning.
Yep.
So, I mean, just fantastic. And, Rhonda mentioned it there. We did not get a chance to talk about it last week, but Carlin Pickens got a golden ticket going into next season's draft. For pro softball. So not many of those come around.
What does that mean? Explain that to somebody that has no idea what that means. Because I immediately thought of like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I got a golden ticket.
That's basically what it is. I mean, going into the draft for next season, she's already been invited to it. Likely that means she's going to be one of the top overall picks going into it as well, which obviously somebody as good as she is, it's hard to believe that she wouldn't be a top pick or the top pick overall. So that's kind of that golden ticket that she's been given.
I think it's actually absurd if she's not. And I'm sorry, I understand that there's some good batters in the league and stuff like that, but it would actually, in my opinion, be insane. For one, how healthy she stayed while being the fastest and best pitcher in the league. How in the world she's not number one? I don't know, man. It blows my mind. But no, Tennessee football 247 said he went to the orange and white game this past weekend. Man, I want to ask you then in the chat, what was something that impressed you the most that maybe something we don't already know about, or what was something that maybe shocked you, didn't expect, or anything like that? Obviously, you can't take Gordon. Everybody's seen that highlight, so you can't say him. But anybody else that maybe caught your eye and you're just like, wow, that dude's big, or that he's going to be a star in the making. Whatever. Let us know. Michael. In saying that, game 2, all balls, especially I love the way we finished it in the 7th. But that set up a sweep opportunity come Monday.
And, boy, they got off to a red-hot start, scoring 6 runs in the first inning. Gabby Leach with a single right off the bat. Ella Dodge with a 2-run home run in the first 2 pitches of the game. So, very first pitch, Gabby Leach with a single. Second pitch of the game, Ella Dodge, opposite field home run. Then Emma Clark gets up, She hit a double, and then Alana Leach, one of her 2 home runs on the night. And let me just tell you, that ball was crushed. That first one was. I mean, no doubter right off the bat. And then Tennessee wasn't done because Elsa Morrison came up. She got a hit. Taylor Holly then got a hit. And then Maddie Rutan
Huge night.
drove one of them in. And then Bella Fall, the next batter, drove in the next one. Just what a first inning to go up 6-0. And then in the second inning, it came back around to Alana Leach, who hit her second home run of the contest. And then in the third inning, they scored 2 more runs. Just really jumped on Kentucky. They scored 1 more in the fourth after Kentucky put up 3 runs in the third. That was all the scoring from there, but just unbelievable night for Tennessee's offense. And then Aaron Newer, once again, kind of struggled a little bit in that third inning, giving up the 3 runs, but still only gave up 6 hits, 3 runs, had 5 strikeouts, only 1 walk. And then Sage Marjetko came in, only gave up 1 hit in the final 2 innings to really slam the door for the Lady Vols. Just a fantastic weekend, something that they desperately needed going into the final stretch of SEC play before they get to the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that we had a bad inning in this game. The third inning, you gave up a couple hits, made a couple errors, boneheaded plays. Would love to see that be cleaned up a little bit, but I think I'm gonna just chalk that up to Kentucky at least not rolling over or giving up. Give them some credit. They really tried to battle back in this game, but no.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Newer, she only gave up the 1 earned run, and that was off of a solo home run from the leadough batter in the third inning, and then the other 2 were unearned because of some of those errors. That's
what I'm saying. Yep. Well, we didn't. We failed to hit a cutoff. We tried to force something that wasn't. I don't know, like just some boneheaded things that we got to clean up, and I think we will. It's a good teaching moment when you can take a moment from a win and say, hey, this didn't bite us in the butt, but let's learn from it. But I know sometimes it's harder to learn from those moments because it didn't bite you in the butt, right? So it's just one of those things where we'd love to see that get cleaned up a little bit, but overall, Rutan have a game, 3 for 3, home run, 2 RBI. Lana Leach, you mentioned it, 2 for 2, 2 home runs, 3 RBI. Dodge, home run, 2 RBI. Emma Clark, a double and 2 RBI. Just a great game all the way around. And again, this game right here, another game, especially in the first inning. You scored several of those runs in the first, and I think in the third, you scored both your runs with 2 outs. It was amazing the 2-out approach that this team had. And it was kind of crazy that it was both them and the baseball team in the same weekend doing it. It blew my mind. Like, I remember texting you in both the softball and the baseball games. I'm like, man, the 2-out approach is great. Mm-hmm. Man, the 2-out. Dude, this is the greatest 2-out approach. Like, I just remember sitting, I'm just like, what is going on right now? But, if we can find a way to replicate that, man, it's going to be a great rest of the season, which, believe it or not, man, it's wrapping up pretty quick.
Yeah, you know what's crazy in this game, though?
Yeah.
Tennessee put up 10 runs. And they left 12 more people on base in this game.
No kidding.
Yeah, I mean, that just tells you how many runs that they could have scored in this game.
There was one inning they left the bases juiced.
I think they left the bases juiced. I believe that was actually in the first inning whenever they did that. They had scored all 6 of those runs, and I think they left the bases loaded after that too. I could be wrong. That could have been like the third inning, but I kind of think it was that first inning when they left the bases loaded too. But yeah, it gets a serious sweep this weekend against Kentucky. This is a week where Tennessee does not have an SEC series. They will be playing Duke on ESPN2 on Wednesday night. Then they do not have another game until next Tuesday when they play Radford. And then the following weekend, another Saturday, Sunday, Monday series against Alabama at home. So how do you coach? How do you feel about this one, Skylar? So here's kind of the way I feel about it. I think that it's great that you get a week off before playing your biggest rival in softball, but at the same time,
you felt like you were finally out of that slump, and then you immediately take a break right after.
Yes. So I don't know. I like the break, but at the same time, it's got me nervous for, is it too much time off? Kind of deal. How do you feel?
I think this team's found it. I think we're fine. I think they're going to be good. I think they're going to be a really hard team to beat for the rest of the year. That's my true honest belief.
I think you're right. I kind of lean that way too. But Alabama, they're going to be.
I mean, it's
very
crazy.
tough
This team is 36-6, maybe overall.
They are 37-6.
And we're sitting 7th place in the SEC.
That just tells you how good the conference is.
No, it's dumb. It's stupid. But, yeah, I think this team's found it. And we're going to be making a real strong push. We may be 7th in the SEC, but we may actually be like a top 5 rank in the overall tournament. I know that sounds dumb, but you got to think of how great our wins were before we even started SEC play. So at this point, we're really playing for a top 4 seed. Baseball and basketball really set up the tournaments are kind of like very similar, bracket style of tournament. It's just double elimination versus single elimination. And we can get into that a little later as we get close to this. And I'm not trying to overlook opponents here, but, the goals for this team is absolutely getting back to Oklahoma City. So at this point, it's all about doing what you can to manage your roster, manage your lineup, and have these ladies playing their absolute best ball come time when it matters.
Yeah, 100%. Because you've only got 2 SEC series left.
That's
You
right.
play Alabama next weekend, the 25th or the 27th, and then you turn around and you travel to Como to play against Skeeter's Missouri Tigers.
Got to be honest with you, those are both winnable series, and not even
They are.
They are both sweepable series. Alabama's going to be tough. They have a really good coach. But, not to disrespect Como and the Lady Tigers, but Tennessee's a better team. And they need to go prove that. And if they can finish the SEC strong on, it'd be 3 straight sweeps possibly, man, that would set them up so well going into the tournament.
I tell you what, man, when you look back at it, that Ole Miss series, that one hurts.
And the South Carolina loss made no damn sense. Excuse my language. I'm so sorry. Made no sense, bro. Like, Carlin Pickens had a really bad game, and I blame myself because I went. That was the one game that I went. She started. They even wore the baby blues, the Summit blues, and I'm like, yes, this is perfect. And then we scored 1 run and gave up 5. It was so bad.
Isn't that twice this year that's happened? You did that at baseball.
Shut up. I'll leave right now. Shut up. I'll leave right now. I went to one of the very first home games, bro, for baseball, and we lost it. And I'm like, all right, this is how it's gonna go. It's crazy. It's fine. Anyways, it's fine.
But no, appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Yeah, I sure did. I always gotta rub it in. But no. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight on YouTube, Facebook, and on the X. If you have not had a chance to do that yet, be sure that you give us a like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us out more than anything, gets our videos out to more people. And a shout out on the Facebook side of things, as this past week alone, 250 new followers on Facebook. So shout out to all of you there. And if you can, just go over to YouTube. You don't have to watch anything over there, but just give us a subscribe. You never have to go back to it. Like I said, just helps us out as well. Make sure you go to, we do have Instagram account as well that we're trying to build up. We got the TikTok account as well, trying to build up. And then you can find all of this on our website, volfanatics.com as well. So make sure you check all of that out. Skylar, you got anything further before we close out tonight?
No, man, but, as we get into the offseason or whatever, football talk is going to be creeping back in. So cannot wait to start talking about it.
Yeah, if anybody has any topics that they want us to talk about, make sure that you send us a message. You can put it in the comments of one of our videos. We will write that down, and that will be a topic of discussion during the off season of Tennessee Football Talk. So once again, appreciate everybody tuning in. And as always, go Big Orange, everybody.
Go Vols, baby.